A new day, a new challenge, and perhaps no greater challenge that you can find in NHL franchise mode than this one right here. Before we get into this video, just want to make note, if there are any kind of challenge videos you want to see me do within NHL 20 franchise mode, let me know down in the comments below. Of course, if you enjoy this one, you know the deal. Support the video, support the channel. That said, what exactly is today's challenge? What is the Florida Men Challenge? Well, you know, I figured why not? Let's see what a team would look like made up of players using EA's default roster, at least the most recent roster update. What would a team look like made up of players only from the state of Florida? Fun fact, it's not great. We'll get into it in a second. If you were to add some quote-unquote legends, someone who had a solid NHL career like Dan Heino, the roster could be better. If you were using, say, my custom roster, which, you can't download, sorry. But if you were using my custom roster, you'd have certain prospects like Chicago's Jake Wise to help out. But using EA's most recent update, this is what you're left with. Quinn Hughes leading the way. Doesn't he look excited to see how this one's going to play out? This is the best roster of players from the state of Florida that you can put together in this game right now. The good thing is, using the Florida Panthers, at least as opposed to the Tampa Bay Lightning, a lot of these players do have good chemistry with the default head coach of the Panthers. But going over this, of course, top line, Garnet Hathaway, Ryan Carpenter, and Jack Hughes leading the way as our highest rated forward at an 80 overall. Second line, you have the brothers Kelly and Kevin Klima, alongside a former Rangers draft pick, Andrew Yogan, 5th round pick in 2010. Third line, you have Kyle Bowman, Matt Bradley, and Ryan Fitzgerald. And a fourth line of Jason Magna with former Bruins draft pick Cody Payne and Brandon Duhaime. Is it great? No, it isn't. But at least the chemistry's there, so who knows? That really is kind of the point of this video here and this challenge of, can we win with this team? Maybe we'll see some crazy franchise mode stuff happen because this roster is just horrible. Defensively, it looks a little bit better, though. We start off at the top pairing, a +5 chemistry-wise between Jacob Chychrun and Quinn Hughes. Second pairing of Shane Gostisbehere and Andrew Peeke, and a third pair of Chase Priskie and Jacob Magna. So the defense looks at least half decent. 3 defensemen of at least an 83 overall or more. Forward-wise, yeah, it's a bit shaky. Do we turn things around with the goaltending, though? No, we don't. Brandon Maxwell and Kyle Kaiser, who is a Bruins signee, an undrafted free agent there, are the best options as it stands. So are we going with a little bit of wishful thinking that this team might not be hot garbage? Kind of. But you know what? I want to see what happens. I want to see, with the chemistry that we have, particularly amongst the forwards, if there is going to be anything crazy that goes down here. Of course, with EA's most recent update to begin with, are there some overalls that I certainly disagree with? Sure, but in a way that could benefit us tremendously. Time will tell. We start off our season against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Florida v. Florida. As you get a look at the overall differences, Jesus. Whoo, a 60. A 60. Yikes, a 60 in offense. I have a feeling. You know what? Place your bets right now. Over under 8 wins this season. 8 might be a bit low. I was tempted to go 12. Will this team win at least 8 games this season? I feel like I'm not giving this team enough credit. Then again, we'll see how this opening month goes, and then maybe we made a mistake and maybe we didn't. We do beat the Carolina Hurricanes for our first win of the season. I will make a note of this here. We essentially have trading off to keep the rosters the same, so we won't be getting any offers from the AI, and computer trades are turned off. We have 3 wins already. Maybe I should have gone with 12. That looks like that would have been the proper number there. Would have been 12. Yeah, 5 and 7. Make it 5 and 8 through the opening month of the season. Okay, so certainly 8 was way, way too low. Look at Ryan Carpenter, 10 points in 13 games. Not too shabby. I want to take a look here elsewhere. 5 points for Garnet Hathaway. 7 points, 4 goals for Jack Hughes. Klima with 6. That's the other Klima. Kevin with 7. Yogan has 5. I mean, we have some decent depth scoring. Matt Bradley, who spent some time, I believe, as a Toronto Marley, hanging in there. You know, it's not that bad. The defense has to be leading the way, right? Chychrun, 5 points. 10 assists in 13 games for Quinn Hughes. Andrew Peake's looking okay. Ghost Bear's been all right. Defensively, it's a little bit shaky. Same for Prisky and Megna. And amongst the goaltenders, a 908 for Brandon Maxwell, a 916 for Kyle Kaiser. That is fantastic. What a start to the season for this Panthers team. I'm not saying playoffs, but I'm also thinking that we're not going to be the worst team in the league. We will see. Time will tell. We have a long way to go. But 5 wins in the opening month of the season. Imagine now we don't win 3 more games all season long. It could happen. There we go. We beat the Rangers. I was going to say 3 losses to begin the month. It could very well happen. This team, though, yeah, we're crashing back down to reality here, aren't we? Shootout loss to the Rangers. We have 1 win this month. I think last month was a bit of a fluke as we won our second game and third of the month. Look at that. 3 in a row. 9-15-1 for the Cats. Make it 9-16-1 at the end of November. So things looking up a bit, kind of. We are dead last in the division. The only team in the Atlantic, the only team in the NHL. We're actually dead last in the NHL right now. The only team to not break 20 points so far. Let's see if the Florida men can turn it around as we sim through the month of December. To be honest, though, we have done better already than I would have expected. 12 wins should certainly be possible, although we start off 0-4 here in December. Make it 0-5. Santa, all I want for Christmas is a win. Can you please help me? Thank you. We beat the Ottawa Senators. You know, we had hope. For a single month, we had hope that the Florida men might be able to pull off a franchise miracle. And it's going to end fairly quickly here. 11-25-3. I'd say place your bets now in terms of who you think might be the top team when it comes to, or the top player on this team, I should say, when it comes to points. But all in all, this is going poorly. We did hit 12 wins though, so even if we set that one more win, and you would hit the over. But yeah, all things considered, this is going about as poorly as I expected it to go. once we fully looked up and researched this team and realized, oh, this is what the team's going to look like. This idea might not be a good idea after all. This is going to suck. That said, though, of course, I decided, yeah, we're going through with this. So we win 3 straight wins. This team's a bit streaky. Can put some wins together and then just get absolutely pooped on for the next month. Back-to-back wins against Philadelphia and New Jersey. Will we be the worst team in the league is the question. The answer is probably yes. But I'm still intrigued to know. I'm intrigued to know as well. Let's say Jack Hughes and Quinn Hughes, the more likely players to lead this team in terms of points. Can't help but wonder who's going to get it. We are certainly going to miss the playoffs, which sounds about right if we're being honest. Final month of the season. Will we hit 25 wins is now the question. Can we win 5 more games in just under this calendar month as it stands? We're up to 23 now. 5 wins in a row. Made it 6. What a surge of wins from the Cats. 26 wins now. Where was this all season? I have to ponder, if we were to sim this 5 times, maybe 10 times, maybe 50 times, how many times would this team, make the playoffs? Would they ever make the playoffs? I can't help but think it's possible. 30, 45, and 7 as our leading scorer was Quinn Hughes. So Detroit was horrible. We ended up beating Ottawa by a point. I can't help but think if we were to sim this multiple times, that maybe, just maybe, good things could happen. 74 points for the Devils at the bottom of the Metro. Again, we had 67 by the end of the season. Nobody in the West appears to have been all that bad, except for the LA Kings. Whew. San Jose turned out to still be pretty decent. Interesting, EA. Interesting. But, yeah, there you go. 4th worst team in the league, the Florida Men. Goals for per game at a 2.2. Somehow, Los Angeles, Anaheim, and Detroit all had weaker offenses than we needed. Anaheim, by the way, won 7 more games than we did. Our goals against average was at a 3.2. That was the 3rd highest in the league. 11.7% power play was bottom 5 in the league. Our penalty kill at 77.3%, which was by far the weakest in the league. So as expected, the goaltending not exactly up to snuff. As we take a look at the forwards, Jack Hughes led the way amongst those forwards with 52 points, 21 goals, one of just 2 players to hit 20 goals alongside line mate Garnet Hathaway, who only hit 40 points. The secondary scoring was abysmal. Oh, it was so bad. Goodness gracious, it was terrible. Kyle Bowman, just 11 points in that full season. Defensively, 60 points for Hughes. That, aside from Hughes and Chychrun, everyone else was abysmal. 36 points for Ghost Bear, 32 for Chychrun. And then, obviously the slight offensive contributions heavily overshadowed by their defensive inefficiencies. Maxwell, a 904, a 909 for Kyle Kaiser. Honestly, the goaltending was better than I expected. The reason why those save percentages would be higher is because those goaltenders were facing a lot of rubber in the regular season. That's really what it comes down to. As you guys get a look at the leading scorers around the league, Kucherov led the way with 49 goals. And amongst the defense, John Klingberg stole away the Norris from one Quinn Hughes. It's a tragedy, I tell you. Dustin Byfuglien. They didn't take Dustin Byfuglien out, huh? Well, that's okay. Well, what are you going to do? Winningest goaltender was Philip Grubauer. Save percentage-wise, it's probably going to be Ben Bishop, who, Jesus Christ, these save percentages. It's going to be Ben Bishop, who ends up winning the Vezina this season. Good on them for going with Shesterkin, because we have to, it's not even Americanizing, it's English. It's Englishing things up a little bit. Shestyorkin, and I refuse to call him anything else. But, yeah, fantastic. Amongst the rookies, it is going to be Quinn Hughes, who ends up winning it over Cale Makar, unless they give it to Cale off of plus-minus, which, they really very well could. Amongst the goaltenders, Ilya Samsonov was pretty solid. Shesterkin might have won it if he played more than 17 games, but hey, what are you going to do? So with that, we might as well see who wins the cup here in this situation, but for the Florida Men, can this team make the playoffs? I'm going to say yes. Am I willing to sim it 25 times until they do? Absolutely not. But I think they could eventually make it. But yeah, this team is quite brutal. Is the only real way to put it. I gotta be honest. There's apparently the Gulls, not the Gulls, the Springfield Thunderbirds. I wish they were the Gulls, because I hate to think of the Springfield Thunderbirds for no reason other than they stole my AHL team. They've made the playoffs. They're apparently, doing quite well, which, hey, good on them. The Winnipeg Jets win the Stanley Cup. Imagine what would have happened if Dustin Byfuglien made it all the way. But he didn't. He left. So with that, the Florida Men very much failed, reduced to a pun-filled headline, I'm sure. But the question is, what challenge will we do next? What team will we build next to see if we can find success? I don't know. It's up to you guys. Let me know what you think. And again, for the Florida Men, that was rough.